Но это просто совпадение.
Мы вообще тоже так. Сейчас мы должны были спектакль делать, но у нас не получилось. Хотели спектакль, в итоге мы остались туристами. Вы здесь живете?
Нет, я живу в Италии. Я только здесь работаю. У меня дорога такая, аэропорт, судно, аэропорт.
А летают еще чартеры? Я слышала, что летали
Раз в 2 месяца.
раз в 2 месяца.
А, ну мы просто не нашли.
В Москву.
Но они стоят,
Каждый месяц было.
они стоят дорого или нормальные какие-то?
Я, честно сказать, не помню, что 15 тысяч вроде.
Да, дешево, дешево. Я знаю, что
Все,
дешево.
значит это мы какие-то другие находили.
Вроде
Там.
15 тысяч. А зачем чарты? А визы может надо, да?
Но виза здесь, шенгенская виза нужна.
Ну, а что это? У меня вон билеты сейчас домой, 5 июля улетаю. У меня туда-обратно 500 евро. 6 самолетов. Еще дешевле, чем это. Российские линии самые дорогие, европейские дешевле. Я, честно сказать, я сейчас часто смотрю телевидение. Я жил в Ирландии одно время, 5 лет почти, в Англии. Ну и так вот смотрю просто цены на билеты, смотрю телевидение, смотрю, там банкротирует Аэрофлот, постоянно какие-то неувязки. И меня поражает, что цены в России внутри гораздо дороже, чем в Европе. В Европе не банкротируют, плюс Россия сидит на топливе. Понимаешь? На мосте. Это отдельно.
Вы говорите по-русски?
Да.
Да.
Да, конечно, можно.
Мы уже договорились на мосте.
Да, но заплатите на борту также киоск, подойдете, там девочка и вот все, и там только.
А вы на Тельчес базаре были? А, на Эгл. Ясно. Ага.
Это место, когда ты можешь привозить людей на такой experience travel. Не знаю, там фестиваль. Приезжают на там 3-4 дня, уезжают, становятся все. Лучше всего, чтобы не надо это место трогать, его оставить на фото.
Там не надо строить отели, рестораны.
первый вход до шпица, когда они организовали в Берге. Вот, и оттуда и начали, в общем-то, норовишься выходить с Берга. То есть тут Тромсе не первые чуваки, которые там собирались в Берге сначала организовали, полностью построили, чтобы вот именно оттуда они все шли в Берг.
Но это не близкий путь. Вообще не близкий.
Вообще не близкий, но в принципе уже столько поколений ходило на нем.
Ну я бы из Бергена тоже сбежала, там дождь вечно идет. Не знаю.
When some Swedish scientists, Swedish geologists found coal here. Then this area was annexed by Swedish company Svenska Spitsbergen Kolfall. They did some trial operation for coal mining, erected some cabins for scientists, named settlement as Pyramiden. Why Pyramiden? Because this mountain has peak shape of pyramid. Sorry, today it's invisible, but believe me, this mountain has peak pyramid shape. That's why they call it pyramid. But soon they decided to sell it because business was unprofitable. And Pyramid was sold to Russian and English company Ruski Grumant in 1927. Then 5 years later, Pyramid was sold again then to Soviet Union state-owned company Trust Artikugel. In addition to Pyramid, also Soviet Union bought Barentsburg, Grumantbühn, Kolsbukta and Bogemanfluja, former Dutch settlement Riebsburg. So Russia still owns 251 square kilometers in Spitsbergen. It's like 0.5% of territory of main island, Western Spitsbergen. First Soviet people started to work here in the middle of 30s. Then in 1941 Soviet Union was involved to the Second World War and population was evacuated from here. During the war, Pyramida was only settlement that wasn't destroyed here in Spitsbergen. The rest of them were totally destroyed and burned down by German battleship Tirpitz in 1943. In 1946, Soviet people came back to Pyramid again and they started to build new buildings, installations in the mine, coal depot, everything. And the local mine was put into operation in 1956. In 1956 is considered as beginning of commercial mining here. And then settlement started to grow up, more and more people came to Pyramid to live, to work, to have fun here. And the golden age, the best time of Pyramid lasted from middle of 60s till 1991. Talking about that 25 years, life was really nice here, supply was excellent, people really enjoyed to be here, they had very big salaries, but it was allowed to work here no more than 2 years. So everyone has contracts here for 2 years long term. They had everything here, they had canteen, swimming pool, museum, library, culture palace, school, kindergarten, everything. Soviet Union invested lots of money to Pyramid, and finally Pyramid was turned into something like showcase of Soviet Union. Even in Cold War times, settlement was always open for foreign visitors. Pyramid was receiving even cruise ships during summer season. Not so much like today, like we're having 5 boats per day, but like 5, 6, 7 per season. But anyway, they're receiving it. Soviet Union has lots of crazy and weird projects, but I think Pyramid was one of the craziest projects of Soviet Union ever existed. Utopian city next to the North Pole. It sounds crazy, but it was. Everything finished in 1991 when US spy Mikhail Gorbachev started his glasnost and perestroika, and as a result Soviet Union collapsed and dark times started here and supply extremely reduced and life started to decline here. So now we're going to our next point of interest because second bus just arrived. We continue our historical part next stop. these stairs ago. Why it was left behind? First of them, of course, money. There was deepest economical crisis in Russia in 1990s, and money wasn't enough to supply two settlements here. And Russia chose Barentsburg instead of Pyramiden because geologic conditions in Barentsburg mine which were much easier and much cheaper for coal mining than here. Also, there was fire in local mine in middle of 90s, and the last reason was airplane accident took place in 1996 when charter plane flying from Moscow to Langebühn collided with Opera Mountain, and all of people who were on board died. 141 people died. It was last reason, and most of them were from Pyramiden. It was last reason why Pyramiden was left behind 2 years later, 1998. So from 1998 till 2008, the settlement was totally abandoned, no one lived here. There wasn't even guard who was responsible to save property of Russian company. And talking about that 10 years, Pyramid was ravaged not only by Arctic actions like permafrost, snow, melting water, but also by vandalism, attacks of tourists, of visitors from mainland as well as from Langebühn. So, second life of Pyramid started 10 years ago. Could you please don't eat in front of me? Thank you. When companies sent a couple of workers to Pyramid, they established steam station or power plant in former garage. So now our steam station in that building with new plastic windows. So for heating, for hot water, we still burn old coal, some coal left from 90s. And for electricity, there is diesel generator in that yellow building.
Oh.
Yeah. And population of Pyramid just 11 people now. 11 people, or 11 people living
You are
here.
one of the 11?
3 of them permanently for full year round. The rest of them just 6-8 months per year.
You are one of the 11
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
Good deal.
Not permanently, 8 months per year. And also we're having like 13 reindeers, 5 polar foxes, 500 kittiwake seagulls, and a couple of polar bears roaming in the vicinity of town. So, helicopter station, this one, or vertolyotka in Russian, still working. 1 time per month, Barentsburg send us helicopters with supply like food, drinks, equipment. Langebühn also send us helicopters, but without food and drinks, only with very important people. 3 months ago there was Norwegian Ministry of Justice here, flying from Langebühn by Sysselmannen helicopter. Helicopter is one of few ways to get connection, get supply from outside world. I mean local outside world, Barentsburg and Langebühn. During polar night, helicopter is only way to get supply here. Sometimes, just for fun, we write down letters, put in the bottles, and throw it to Billefjorden. 2 months for Langebühn, 4 months for Barentsburg, 1 year for Murmansk, nearest Russian city. It's still working even in the 21st century. Pigeon post doesn't work anymore because no pigeons here, only kittiwakes, seagulls, but they wintering not far from Spitsbergen, that's why they can deliver our letters to mainland. A second way to get last rumors or last gossips of mainland is phone satellite. Satellite phone. There is no internet, no mobile phone connection here, so you can make 5,000 pictures here, but sorry, Instagram doesn't work as well. Maybe later in Langebühn. Next stop will be London.
Это тоже выглядит как пирамида.
Now I will tell you about last buildings of Pyramida. These two of them, building standing on the pillars, covered by wooden, was built in 1989 and was used as dormitory, mostly for single miners. Locals called it London. Now nobody knows why they called it London, but it was London. Building behind London is local hotel. Local hotel also built in 1989 as a hotel. First name of the hotel was Гостиница Тюльпан or Hotel Tulip. 3 years ago hotel was renovated inside and hotel changed name from Гостиница Тюльпан to Hotel Pyramid. Now two kind of rooms available in local hotel: Soviet style or retro style and modern style. Soviet style means there is no shower in your room, old beds, sometimes dirty floors, sometimes no wallpapers, but atmosphere. Atmosphere of late years of Soviet Union or beginning of 90s, how it used to be in the past. Modern room means you have everything in your room except of Wi-Fi, always clean, but no spirit. So if you want to stay in the hotel, definitely you should choose Soviet style room. Not only cheaper, but also more impressive. Hard to believe, but local hotel is available at booking.com. Yeah, this is no joke, really. You can check it. How it works if we don't have connection. Легко. Twice a day I make a call to Barentsburg and they office of the company in Barentsburg, and then they inform me how many people will come to the hotel for overnight staying, how many ships will moor at the pier, and how many helicopters, and so on and so on. So we work like this. Local hotel Pyramiden, one of two hotels in the world visited not only by explorers but also by polar bears. First hotel is Isfjord Radio in the entrance of Isfjorden, Norwegian hotel. Last polar bear was there 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Here, polar bear was in the end of summer 2014. Polar bear broke down window on the first floor, came inside. Petrovich, our bus driver, scared her away by signal pistol, and that polar bear left the same way. Sometimes it happens, this is no joke really. Next stop will be Paris.
How much is the price for the room in the hotel?
It depends on the room, Soviet or
Yeah, Soviet room.
post-Soviet.
Soviet.
Double 1,000, single 800. Throughout whole history of Soviet history of Pyramida, settlement was always company town, like Langerby until 1989, and settlement was always self-sufficient, almost self-sufficient. There was animal farm in that yellow barrack where locals grew up cows and pigs. In that yellow building, the inscription 1972. Lots of bricks left from 80s. There was even brick factory here. In Pyramid, and most of buildings were built by bricks produced in local brick factory. In 90s, brick factory was pulled down. This is part of old greenhouse, just part of it, where local women produced vegetables like onions, tomatoes, carrots, cabbages. Of course, some food was being delivered from mainland, fruits, some vegetables, but most of food locals produced on their own. It was very important, especially when you're living almost on the edge of the world. This building was former овощехранилище or vegetable storage, where local stored vegetables produced in local greenhouse. Building behind your back was built in the end of 70s and was used as dormitory mostly for single women. And the locals called it Paris. So Paris was built before than London. Lots of boxes on the windows is typical Russian natural refrigerators where local stored food, meat, fish, butter. Even today in northern parts of Russia you can meet it everywhere. Next stop will be Krankenhaus. Krankenhaus. Hospital. Больница. Больница. In Russian. Больница. Polyclinica. So, hospital. Hospital was built in the end of 70s as well, in the 1977. But before hospital was built, there was a problem in Pyramiden, especially in 50s. High rate of mortalities amongst children. Giving birth was allowed till 1996 in Spitsbergen. Now it's totally prohibited. But equipment wasn't enough to give birth here. But local women gave lots of birth here. And as a result, there were lots of dead-born children, or children who died after 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. And that's why there is a cemetery on the west side of Mimmervalley. You can see a small piece of land surrounded by blue fence. This is local cemetery. Most of graves occupied by children, like tombstone with 1 year, 1955 or 1963 is quite a horrible sight. Yeah, and then hospital was built and the rate of mortality decreased. Last graves dates 1981. Hospital was equipped by modern equipment. People who used to work there were really high professional doctors. So now there is no hospital, no pharmacy. If something happens, there is only way is rescue helicopter from Langerbyn. It takes 40-45 minutes to get Pyramid from Langerbyn by rescue helicopter. This is life in Pyramid. Next stop will be city center. Let's go.
Okay.
Люди были счастливы, радовались, песни пели, шли к коммунизму. Как в песне «Гражданской обороны». Да, еще раз. По газонам, вот по тропиночке, пожалуйста. Спасибо. Не потому что я вредный, потому что тут олень. Потому что иначе тут все вытащит. Это мое самое главное правило.
Просі, пані.
So this is city center, or how say Stadtzentrum. Stadtzentrum.
Neighbor of the world.
This is former main street of Pyramida. The street has street named after 60th anniversary of Great October Socialistic Revolution, but locals called it Champs-Élysées, like in Paris. This is city center, and typical rush hour of Pyramida looks like this. Yeah, just visitors and animals, reindeers, polar foxes, and so on. Lenin. This is not just Lenin, like everywhere in Russia. This is the world northernmost Lenin. The world northernmost Lenin, still standing, still keeping his watchful eye on everyone who come in, you, me, everyone. And local Lenin, I think, has the best use of the Lenin ever existed. Look, the Nordenskjöld Glacier, one of the beautiful glaciers in Spitsbergen, actually in Isfjorden. Very spectacular. Yeah, swimming pool. So please, one more time, don't go on grass. Use stone path, please. Thank you. Swimming pool was built in 1986. Existed just 11 years. Also was abandoned in 1998. Culture Palace Port Hall was built in 1976. Was named after Yuri Gagarin, the first spaceman, man number 1 in Soviet Union. So now we're going inside for 8-9 minutes, please. No toilets. Don't move anything. Don't put anything into your pockets. Yes, let's go. So please welcome and wait for me on the first floor.
Okay. Мир добром укрась.
Standing on the stage. If you're a musician, you can play a little bit. If not, please don't touch it. If you wanna play football, basketball, there is sport hall entrance just around that corner. Very good conditions. Sometimes we still use it. We play football with sailing boats, 1-2 times per month. Second floor, also you can visit it. There is a music room. It was used as a rehearsal spot of local bands, rock bands, jazz bands, and 70s, 80s. Also there is dancing room. It was library before. This summer we plan to launch it as a summer cafe for big cruise ships. So, now 8 minutes, enjoy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Don't disappear from the building, please. Sorry, time is over.
Слушай, а здесь есть концерты на этой сцене?
Собираются сделать в конце сентября, по-моему.
Да ладно.
Собираются, не знаю.
Кто будет выступать?
А?
Кто выступает?
Короче, грайндкор, блэк метал, панк-рок. Да шучу я не знаю, кто будет выступать. Мне даже, меня уже не будет. Все вопросы к руководству. Да.
Офигенная сцена просто.
Не знаю.
А нам сказали, что тут киноархив еще нашли.
Он есть, но он закрытый, чтобы не растаскивать. Пленочный.
Ага.
Уже поздно, нам нужно уходить. Потом, видите, будет танцевать, все будет.
Я бы, конечно, здесь заснять этот потенциал.
Да.
Вау. Конечно, настал уже другой год.
Rentierfutter.
Bitte nicht den Rasen betreten, weil die Rentiere, das Grün ist hier sehr knapp. Und deswegen
Er will doch wissen, wie es auf Deutsch heißt.
Rasen betreten verboten.
Nicht betreten.
Nicht betreten.
Genau.
Ja, nicht betreten verboten.
Our bird colony, or how just it was called, hotel for birds. Bird hotel.
Wonderful.
So this is the first skyscraper of Pyramida. The building was built in 1975, and the building was used as dormitory mostly for families with children. Locals called it Durdom or crazy house because of noise. Now we call it the same name because of noise from birds. The same noise, the same name. This building is occupied by kittiwakes and of seagull from end of April till beginning of September. You can see nests almost on every window sill. They living in the beginning of September, middle of September, and they overwintering at open sea, North Atlantic, not far from Spitsbergen. So now you can meet canteen. Are you hungry?
No.
Sorry, no food. Since 1998.
And you?
You? I'm very hungry.
Yeah? Oh.
So canteen. Canteen was built in 1959, almost 60 years ago. One of the oldest buildings, still standing in Pyramid. Canteen used to work 24 hours per day, 7 days per week in 70s, 80s, because mine also worked 24/7. And every coal miner could eat here anytime. Food wasn't limited, food was for free, everything was for free. You should work hard and then you get everything for free. But alcohol was strictly limited. Even today, locals, residents of Langerbyn, Barentsburg have limit cards, quart cards for alcohol. It's allowed to buy 2 liters of strong alcohol per month for them. Talking about Soviet times, every local could get 2 bottles of vodka per month and 10 bottles of beer per month. Hard life, yeah, I know. Alcohol outlet was also in canteen. Locals called it шатающийся kiosk or drunken kiosk. Canteen also played very important social role here. Before Culture Palace was erected, Culture Palace was also in canteen. There was cinema saloon, music hall here. People organized parties there, like birthdays, New Year's. Even weddings were held here. So now we going upstairs directly to the 2nd floor. There is a big dining room. There is kitchen. It's also allowed to have a look at kitchen. Please, one more time. No toilets.
Okay.
All toilets have been working since 1998. 15 minutes left to the hotel. Be patient, please. don't touch old flowers. So if you will find old food in the kitchen, please don't eat it. I know food lunch is not included at Aurora board, but anyway, you should try it unless if you want to be evacuated by rescue helicopter. Short trip, 40 minutes, but very expensive. 50,000 Norwegian kroners. If it's okay for you,
Yeah, yeah.
you can
Wonderful,
try everything
yeah.
you will find. Second floor, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Мозаика. Kitchen, this way. There.
Вау.
Наши любимые люди, которые приезжают, у которых есть ружье, которые сами все делают, да. Или которые сидят в отеле и пьют 3 дня подряд, не выезжают, ничего не видят, ну таких тоже нет.
Но здесь без ружья вообще никак.
Нет, ну можно нанять гида.
Палка.
Да.
Ну, не обязательно ружье, или обязательно.
Ну вообще нужно.
Палка.
А ракетницы не хватает, недостаточно по месту. Ракетница и ружье.
Надо еще же стрелять.
Ну да.
Ну это зимой в основном, да?
Почему здесь? Любой момент, любое время.
Да?
Не, естественно, в апреле медведей намного больше, это другое разговор. Но внезапное появление можно ждать любой момент. Давай. Все можно говорить?
Да.
Первый раз я побывал здесь в 2013 году во время нашего похода 3-недельного по Шпицбергену. До первого визита я ни разу не слышал, не видел, не читал ничего о пирамиде, о Борисбурге. И, честно говоря, я был очень сильно удивлен, когда я побывал здесь первый раз. И по прошествию 4 лет я получил эту работу гидом. Все хорошо, мне очень нравится, я кайфую тут.
Ну а у тебя профессия какая?
До 2015 года большую часть времени я свою путешествовал, мы играли музыку, вот в принципе всем тем, что я занимался до того.
А какие-то музыкальные у тебя остались мысли?
Музыкальные мысли, да, мы едем в тур, опять
Я шапку потеряла.
ее принесут, она уже едет с автобусом, да, вот, ее принесут.
Я не мешаю тут вашему...
Наоборот, что?
Да, мы едем в тур опять в конце июля на 2 недели по Европе.
А как вас найти, как называетесь?
Я там сейчас не играю, я им делал тур, в смысле я бронировал, искал концерты.
Угу.
Ребята играют грайндкор. Я думаю, ты знаешь, что такое грайндкор? Группа Forest Ham.
Forest Ham.
В Германии это Дрезден, Ульм и Тюбинген. 3 концерта. Остальные Чехия, Словения, Словакия, Австрия, Хорватия. Да, это, по-моему, все.
А Шпицберген, как вот твои планы? Тебе здесь кайфово, хорошо?
Мне здесь комфортно, скажу честно. И все эти фильмы, которые показывают про пирамиду, они настолько унылые и грустные, что мне не нравится. Мне тут весело, мне это хорошо. Это очень далеко, это совсем не грустное место.
Ну, а вот то, что цивилизации нет, связи нет.
Это
вот
все
это.
условно. Рядом лагерь, Аврора 1,5 часа. Все, что надо, можно выехать, все сделать. А Торнести, по большому счету, такой прям
супер оторванности я не ощущаю здесь. Зимой более это ощущается, когда нету способов так быстро добраться до цивилизации, только снегоходы и вертолеты. Летом все просто. Сколько народу, что ты не чувствуешь этот отрезанный от большой земли.
И последний, Жень, а вот ты как представляешь себе историю, да, Шпицбергена, что происходило там, да, последнее, вот и то, что сейчас, что вот как бы вот логичнее дальше, вот каким он должен был бы быть, вот в твоему мнению?
Ну, все сводится к тому, что туризм и наука. И нужно это делать так, чтобы минимизировать отрицательное воздействие человека на окружающую среду. Я думаю, тут все понятно.
Окей, Жень, спасибо.
Не за что.
Да, рад был познакомиться.
Это будет где-то в интернете, это так для...
I think tourists, they love it.
Walking.
Yeah, they love it. But the nature is just amazing.
It's
It's just amazing. You're from here, no?
Nope, I am from northern Norway.